The former mayor of Johannesburg, Dr. Mpho Phalatse, has filed court papers challenging the City of Johannesburg's special council sitting last week. Now, she wants it to be declared unlawful. The matter expected to be heard in the Johannesburg High Court on Tuesday. That's today. Let's get more on this developing story now, and we speak to our reporter Mbali Thethani, who joins me in studio. Mbali, good morning to you. The grounds on which Mpho Phalatse is going to base her case, does she have a strong case here?
Well, I'm sure she feels that she has a strong case here, Xoli. Of course, you would remember that last week when we saw Colleen Makubele being elected as the Speaker of the City of Johannesburg, we then subsequently saw a programming meeting that sat at around 4 o'clock on Thursday. And of course, that programming meeting was intended to let councillors know that there would be this motion that will be passed on Friday. And ultimately, we saw that motion being passed on Friday, meaning that she was, removed as the City of the Johannesburg's mayor. But at the same time, council members, especially from the DA's benches, were saying that councillors need to be given at least a notice of 72 hours before there is a council meeting. But, Xoli, being inside that council on Friday, we were even told that the former Speaker, Vasco da Gama, on some cases even told councillors 2 hours before a meeting started. So on those grounds, we'd know that they said on Thursday that the programming meeting, which has 13 members, did not quorate, but at the same time that councillors cannot be given just a mere 20 hours notice before a meeting sits to, of course, see that motion that was passed in that council that ultimately removed Mpho Phalatse as the mayor of the City of Johannesburg.
Mbali, a crucial question that I'm sure many residents would want to know is how this vote was conducted in the first place, because there is an allegation that this was a rushed process. At some point, the councillors themselves were confused about the method of voting. And is it true that it was via a show of hands? Why was there such a rush? For such a crucial process?
Xoli, you'd remember when we asked, especially those on the ANC's benches, and we asked them that why is there such a rush to have this meeting and to have council convene? And we were told that this week, because of the school holidays, there is usually some sort of recess period. So meaning that they'd have to wait a week longer, Xoli, to have this motion. But at the same time, the negotiations are quite crucial, right? Because you cannot give council at least a week to start negotiating, because at the heart of it all is parties not finding each other, especially when it comes to that multi-party coalition which was being led by the DA. And it was ultimately really, Xoli, it was the councillors from the Patriotic Alliance that were swayed to then vote with the likes of the ANC and the EFF and other smaller parties. So it was just a play here of do not give councillors too much time to come together and to talk, and hence why we saw that rushed approach in the City of Johannesburg. Immediately after Colleen was elected as the Speaker, you're certainly right. On Friday, we saw that motion being passed, being read out by the AIC, and there was a show of hands. I think it was 141. Council has 270 members, 141 show of hands wanting that motion to be passed, and the ANC got its way by having that motion being passed. And of course, now knowing that we have Dada Morero as the mayor in the City of Johannesburg.
The assumption here is that this matter being brought before court now by the ousted mayor, is that brought on an urgent basis? Because what would be the urgency? It's just a clarity-seeking question, really, because the event has come and gone. She's been voted out. So is it being pursued on an urgent basis, or is it just papers being filed on a normal court roll, which means that it'll take some time if there is a reversal for us to get a verdict?
Well, Xoli, you would remember just last week Friday in the morning we spoke to the mayor, then Mayor Mpho Phalatse, who said that they will be filing that the urgent papers at the South Gauteng High Court, basically trying to halt the process at the time. But by the time court sat, which was around 11:15, council had already started at 10 o'clock. And by past, we already saw that motion being passed already. So she could not halt the process anymore. So now the DA says that they will take the normal route. So it will take quite some time until we see this matter being heard in court, because there is no urgency now. Because, council has already voted in a new mayor. So the only way now that the DA can challenge this is through normal court processes. And you and I know normal court processes take a bit of time.
Well, we're going to have to find out what the sentiment is on the ground. Johannesburg residents themselves, the Johannesburg city now firmly, well, maybe using the word firmly, might need to be rephrased here. The ANC is back in charge. That's basically the long and short of it. Is there going to be confidence around this party this time around running this city? We're going to have to wait and see. Thank you very much for the time being, Mbali Thethani, following that story for us. Mpho Phalatse having gone to court to try and challenge the validity of that special sitting which took place last week.